That's not gonna finish off. That is a beautiful sight.
No. The other direction.
Oh, my bad.
All right, everyone. I'm back in the saddle, or at least the chair. We got back to seeding, finished the peas a few days ago. Weather kind of iffy. Did some pre-spraying, and now I can start seeding spring wheat. So we're really getting going today. We'll have today, tomorrow. There's another storm coming through. It's going to shut us down for a couple days, but at least we got all the things together. Got the drills calibrated, we're out seeding, everything seems to be working well. So that's cool. Anyway, I was just going to show you this place. A couple years ago, or at least 3 years ago, we had a huge lake. We call it Welker Lake, actually Bird Crap Lake. It showed up in a number of videos. Well, I am seeding across the bottom of that lake. Yeah, that's when we had a couple years of pretty good snowfall, runoff, filled this, and then 2 years ago in June we had 3.5 inches of rain in about 2 hours, and it filled it the highest I've ever seen it. And so it was there for a couple years, and then last year it finally dried out enough that we were able to seed peas. I'm seeding over the last year's peas, and so that's kind of the nature of this country. You know, some said, well, why don't you irrigate out of that that water? Well, it's not very deep. But anyway, sorry to interrupt your coffee time. You can go ahead and grab your cup, and I'll catch you on the next sip.
All right, well, not much farm work getting done right now. Absolutely gorgeous weather. Not even a hint of wind. Old Glory's just hanging there quietly. The ground, it's close. It's not quite there. A little muddy. The little storm we had, it wasn't a big storm, but it was enough to stop us for about 2 days. We still got a lot of acres ahead of us though. I think we're sitting at about 7,000 left to go. And these 2 drills are gonna have to hammer it out. It sure be nice though. We could speed things up a little bit. These drills behind me are called flex coils. Flex Coil, Canadian company, became Case IH and New Holland. Flex Coil was acquired by CNH Industrial, and now Flex Coil is branded as New Holland's or Case IH. It's painted red or blue. Same company, just they make different paint colors now. Do you think that they could work with maybe like a distant relative of theirs? So hear me out here, hear me out here. Okay, we've got an old bud, 78. We've got an old drill, like 2004, 6, 5. We'll take 5. What would happen if we just like cut it in half and combine new with old? I know you're probably thinking like, what?
What are you talking about, Nick?
You guys will see. But first, I need to unhook this thing. Let's fire the butt up. Let's unhook the toolbar, pull the cart ahead, and get to business. Now, one thing we ran into with trying to adapt this old drill to the cart is the length of hoses aren't really long enough. The old hoses we had running off our main runs probably stopped about right here, and we got another 4 or 5 feet to go. So we had to get a 100-foot roll of hose, and then we're gonna put all new ones in to run across to the bottom of the output of the manifold down here. Not terribly hard, just gotta cut a bunch of length and heat up the end and put them on and hose clamp them down. This nice little cradle here for them all to go through. That's one thing the other drill didn't have. They tend to kind of rub and wear here. I shouldn't say it didn't have. It had a crude way, but I like this a lot better. That's gonna move and turn as it turns, less wear on the hoses. Anytime you've got a point where stuff moves back and forth, it's amazing, but over time it'll wear holes in everything. Think of the thousands of times you turn around in the field to go back and forth. Put these hoses on. You guys remember our meters? We have 3 large meters in our other carts. They come in different sizes depending on what type of crops and products you're using. There's fine, there's coarse, there's extra coarse. Well, this is what this uses. There's 24 of them because this cart has 24 motors that drive the system instead of 3 like ours do. What that allows you to do is do variable rate seating. So when you're turning a corner, you know, your arm or your movement, your outside turns faster than the inside, just like the sprayer. Remember their Patriot has that setup where it pulses and outside applicates more than the inside, so you don't over applicate and you don't under applicate. Same concept with this. When you turn, it'll speed up and slow down the individual runs, so that way your air drill is putting down consistent rate no matter what you're doing, whether you're turning or going straight. But it takes all these cartridges. Well, we've got the right cartridges for the rest of it for fertilizer, but I gotta swap over the housings to this color. This is the orange/red color, and that'll be used for seed because we're going to be putting seed in this back tank. So it's pretty easy, just a couple tabs, they pop out, swap in, and put them back in. Let's do that. I think everything's hooked up, the correct meters are in. Now what we got to do is get some product into this machine so we can calibrate it. This actually has load cells on each hopper. There's a scale right here. So it'll actually tell us how much weight is inside each one of these tanks, which is pretty awesome. So you've got a bunch of different fail safes on knowing what's in your system and what you've got. You don't have to worry about trying to weigh your product before you put it in there. You've got it right here. So we'll know exactly what our fertilizer weighs, we'll exactly know what our wheat weighs. That's cool. One thing you might not have noticed about this cart, or if you have noticed, is where's the auger to load the thing? Or conveyor. And there's a reason it's not on there. This particular cart, this 3725, is set up to be for the big operation farms that run multiple rigs in the same field, and they bring their own conveyor, which we just happen to have one sitting over here, that Batco, and you load directly from like semi-trailer to cart. Because when you get these tanks up to 700 to 1,000 bushels, they make a 950 version of this thing. You don't load with 500 bushel tandem trucks. You bring semis to the field. And when you got 3 or 4 of these running on these 30, 40, 50,000 acre farms that do exist, it's crazy, but they're out there. There's a lot of them. It's pretty surprised. They don't want an auger on each one of the rigs. They don't want a conveyor. That's an extra 70 grand or so, 60 grand to throw on top of every cart they're buying, when they can just bring their one conveyor that's portable and line all the drills up and just put the conveyor over it, load it, go, load it, go. So we're gonna field load with our conveyor with this. So it's kind of a new experience for us, but it's pretty common practice for the big operations. That's amazing how big a tank that is. So we're using the rear tank for seed. We typically use the largest tank on the cart for the seed, and then we use the 2 smaller tanks for fertilizer. I think it's gonna take about that whole truck. I actually don't even know the capacity of this tank yet. We'll find out soon enough with the scale. I haven't looked it up, but it's big. Now I know what you're thinking. Why haven't I talked about that? Well, we'll get to that. Now there wasn't enough fertilizer in that truck to fill this thing full, so it'll take all that's in there. And I'm about to go get more fertilizer and mix up another batch of seed with the storm. Oh, but the bright side is, yes, it takes more seed fertilizer, but it means less filling.
if you like. First time that poor conveyor seen fertilizer. Gotta move it somehow. Okay. It was messy, but we got it calibrated. It wasn't that it was difficult, it's just we just didn't do everything correct the first time, made a big mess. We learned, we know. Next time won't be the same. I just started seeding a little bit after noon. We were waiting for it to dry up enough after that snow, and they're talking snow tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to seed as much as I can, and hopefully it doesn't snow tomorrow, because that'd be fantastic if we could just keep on seeding and knock out these acres, because as of right now, let's see, let me look real quick. I am sitting at 391 acres seeded of spring wheat from my drill. That's not including what my dad's got going on. So we basically just started planting spring wheat. But we have almost 3,000 acres of peas in, which is good. But still, we need to get those acres in. And this weather is not really gonna cooperate as easy, but that's just how it is. I picked up a hitchhiker, maybe two. We got Roscoe and Taryn, my two wonderful kids. My third kid, well, he's not old enough to be in the tractor just yet, so he needs mama to be in the tractor. Aren't they just adorable?
A tractor?
Are you driving a big bud?
Yeah.
You're driving a big bud?
Yeah.
Whoa! All right, there we go. There's one kid. Come here. Come here. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right. Whoa, hello. I love my kids, and I love my wife. They're awesome. They came out to give me a lunch and say hello. So I just shut the tractor off. Reason for is I need seed and fertilizer. And I'm over at the Quonset here with all the bins. And I've got fertilizer over here, but no truck. I've got a truck over here with no seed. So I'm gonna take the truck back, grab the other truck of fertilizer, come over here, fill my drill, then take that one back, then go back to the other truck, grab that, bring it over here, put some seed in my drill, and then head back because the other guys are kind of busy. So, one-man operation at the moment. But I gotta drive the red Beater Peterbilt. It's hard to say fast, especially with a tongue-tied individual like myself. I'm thinking it, but it doesn't come out the way I want it to. That's just how it is. But anyways, Beater Peterbilt, here we go. Okay, just let Dad loose in the quad. It took a little bit to get him up to snuff. He's running it. I just got the top leg arms off. I gotta go fill another batch up of treating seed from the storm seed treater. Trying to keep up on it. If we can stay ahead of the drills, that's good. If not, that's bad. The Wiggly Wagster Brad's gonna eventually come back here soon. He's gonna help us to shuttle trucks back and forth. I'm gonna end up back in the sprayer soon too, and then I'll get some time back in the quad. So it's gonna be interesting. We'll see how it all plays out, but we're probably gonna get shut down tomorrow with the weather, so we might get some downtime again. We'll see. But it's beautiful right now. Good seed weather.
stare at that thing all day, couldn't you? It does block quite a bit of the air drill, but having mirrors, which our big buds don't have, actually does quite a bit because it sees an angle. When I look at the mirror, I can see from another angle coming in, and I actually see quite a bit of the drill that way. Still though, that is a massive cart. And it just doesn't empty. It just stays full. Every time I check it, it's like full still. It's crazy. So you're probably wondering, why are we seeing it in the snow? Well, it was supposed to snow today a little bit, and we're just keeping going. The press wheels aren't picking up the seed yet. The air drill's not having any trouble running. So we just decided, well, let's just keep going, see how many acres we can get done. Everything's running really smoothly. Got this all set up how we want it. Intelligent Ag's working how we want it. So far, so good. What on earth is that toolbar doing on this setup when it, you know, it makes sense that there would be a new toolbar with the new tractor, new cart. Well, there was supposed to be one. It was planned. It was supposed to be 80 feet. Would have been amazing. But due to some unfortunate circumstances, it did not happen. So we're improvising with our own. Still the same company, just 20 years older, sort of. But you know what? That cart there was actually designed to work with a 60-foot drill, and that's 57 foot. So it's actually within the specs of what it was designed for. But it is it's still pretty awesome. And this tractor, you know, we ran one just like it last year. It's a 620 FS Connect quad. It's a 2021. Doesn't have more than 20 hours on it, and it's really nice. And I actually feel now that I've got a pretty good understanding of the horsepower difference, because I am pulling a heavier cart than ours, but I'm pulling the same size drill, and you can feel the power now. It makes a lot more sense. We've never pulled our grain cart with our big buds, so I was never able to compare this quad track to our big buds because they never pulled the same thing. Well, this is the closest we've gotten to, and yeah, this thing pulls hard. It doesn't even phase it. That thing's back there. Contrary to what some may say, this is the highest horsepower production tractor out there. At 620 horsepower, it may be 20 horsepower less than, say, some others are suggesting that theirs are. But the difference with this thing is it has the ability to boost up to 680 roughly horsepower when under intense load. It won't do that for extended periods due to probably overheating and large fuel consumption, maybe emissions, but when needed, that horsepower is available. So technically this tractor, if you wanted to say it, is a 680 horsepower tractor. It's just set at 620 for 95% of the operation.
There. Got to get it adjusted right. Yeah, I'm back in the saddle again. I'm actually running the 600. We're doing a little switching around here. Something's coming on the channel here real soon. So I'm out here, but it's an interesting day, and I'm going to show you the windshield. That's hard water. Yeah, it turned cold this morning. It was 41, not bad. And then the snow started coming, and now it's about 31 degrees. Got a little bit of snow out there. But anyway, yeah. So I'm having a snow day, but it's not go home from work. But I am missing Shelby. He didn't jump in. I didn't know I was going to be doing this right away, and so I didn't take him. But he's, don't tell him, don't call him. He'll be very disappointed.